Cracking everybody, welcome back to the channel and a new video. Today we are going to do a reaction video. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the whole video. I haven't seen the video, but it is the prison guard channel. People have been asking me about it. Have I seen it? You guys, if you didn't see, he was actually on a live with us the other day. Um, but I saw that he's going to talk about a prison race riot in California CDCR prison. I'm interested to see what he has to say um, from the correctional point of view, and let's see if I can add anything from what I'm hearing. Let's chop it up. I haven't seen any of this.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I see you guys out there, i.e. Inland Empire. You guys finally tapped in. I knew you guys were out there. All right. With that being said, man, keep dropping those comments. I see them. All right. Like and share this channel. All right. That's the only way we're going to grow. That's the only way we're going to get this voice to be louder. Two things I've been seeing, and they make sense, right? People want to hear about riots, big ass melees, and we got out of staters, people from out of state, they want to know about the California prison system. They've heard about it. They've heard about how violent it is, right? And how it operates different. It does, okay? And I say it does because I be watching those YouTube videos of like Alabama, and it's weird when I see shit like that, right? They got fucking cell phones, but cell phones out in the open. Um, all kinds of crazy shit, waving weapons around in front of the guards. It's just weird shit. Like,
I think part of that is though, part of it, right? I don't know. I'm just guessing, but I think in those other states, those COs don't get paid enough to be running up on people that have knives and cell phones. California, they get paid a lot of money, and I also think that in California, and he can the lieutenant could say himself, um, they know who they could get at if they had to over here. You know, within particular different factions and groups, they know who they could talk to. You know, to try to quell any tension and stuff like that, because California is just structured that way. I think in these other states, it's a free for all, every man for themselves. So the COs don't really. It's a combination of things over there where they're like, nah, I'm gonna just make my little bit of change and I'm gonna go home.
almost like a free for all. Another thing that trips me out is the different races that they're not segregated. Like when I see like a white guy getting his ass kicked by like a black dude, it gives me anxiety because I'm like, hey, where's his help? Where's his homies? Like I'm expecting it to erupt, to kick off, right? Because that's what I'm used to. That's what people from the California Department of Corrections are used to, right? That's the system that we're in, that we operated in. So riots, race riots. Okay, I got to Centinela in 2007. Delta Yard at that time was a GP, general population. It would eventually, over the years, get transformed into an SNY, sensitive need yard, protective custody. But at that time, it was a GP. And when I arrived, they were on lockdown. When lockdown still existed, they were still a thing. And the reason they were on lockdown was because the blacks and the Mexicans had gone at it. Right? I'm hearing these stories that the officers are telling me, my partners. And one thing that kind of caught me as odd was that they were talking about how I think it was Delta, trying to remember the number, the way the buildings went. I think it was Delta 2, where they said that the Mexicans had got a black inmate that was all stabbed up and held him up against the wall on the outside of the building, and it painted the wall red, like with the blood, right? And I was like, damn, that's kind of too much, kind of extra. But that was the reality of it. That's apparently that's what they did. Um, yes, the California Department of Corrections is racially segregated, not by us, not by the staff members, but by the inmate population in itself. Does that mean that they're racist? Not necessarily that they're racist. That's not what that is about.
That's the point I've tried to make over and over and over. When people talk about the raza from Southern California, the Mexicans from Southern California are racist, that's not, that's a wide brush to paint people with. Not everybody was racist. Um, I've run into blacks that hate Mexicans with everything they have, but I don't turn around and say they're all racist. You know, people develop certain ideas and feelings towards people based on what they've been through. You know, but I'm glad he said that. And this is a staff member. This is a lieutenant in the CDC saying that even though everything's breaking down broken down racially, it doesn't mean that they're racist. I want to see what else he has to say about
I
that.
believe it's more of a protection, more of a position of
Hmm.
advantage, more strength in numbers, more that type of thing. Not so much as like I hate that person, I hate that race.
And it's not only that. I've said it before where when you have people mingling, you know, like look at these other states that don't have those kind of color lines and don't have where people protect their people. In those prisons that don't, in those systems in other states that don't do that, there's a lot of inmate rape. There's a lot of um, things that wouldn't be tolerated out here, you know, and that's part of it. Also, it uh, cuts down on violence, believe it or not. When people know, like, I can't just go fucking smack this dude because if I do, everybody that his same nationality or faction is gonna jump. You know, so it makes people be better uh, with their mouthpiece and I don't know how to actually say it, but it just makes them become better at interacting and also learn patience and restraint. Maybe I don't know.
Is there racist people? Yeah, there's racist people everywhere, but I don't believe that racial segregation is because of that. I believe it because it alleviates problems, right? So you'll have a table assigned, you'll have a table designated, they did it themselves for the Mexican inmates, Southsiders, Sureños. You'll have a black table, you'll have a white table. Usually the blacks and the others, they kind of roll. The others are Asian, Samoan, American Indian. Sometimes I've seen Indians roll with the Mexicans, but don't get it twisted. I've seen black ethnicity Sureños, right? I've seen white Crips. That causes the problem. The white Crips. Yeah. Whenever they touch down on the yard, that caused the problem. So it's not racial. Don't get it twisted. Okay, it's not that. It's more for, I believe, for safety measures, as in, hey, you stay over here, we'll stay over here, we'll stay over here. And when shit cracks off, we're going to know it because there's people in places that shouldn't be where they're at, right? And it kind of makes sense from that aspect. Riot, Bravo Yard, Centinela, level 3 GP, general population. I must have had 2 years in, 3 years in the department. On the other video, I mentioned C files. C files are those the folders. They no longer have those folders. That's what that type of time frame was, right? I'm not old school. I'm not like a. I came in before shit kind of changed. So yeah, there was people before me. Trust me, there was people before me that saw more different things, right? But I'm giving you my story. When I came into the department, there was 5 housing units and 1 gym that housed inmates. In those housing units, there was bunk beds on the day room floor on one side of the day room and the other side of the day room. And those housed inmates. It was during the overcrowding that the California was saying. You had the gym, the gymnasiums had bunk beds. I think you had 100 inmates in there, packed with inmates. So you have a lot, thousands and thousands and thousands of inmates. Blue, I called it a sea of blue because the California, they wear blue attire, right? It says CDCR prisoner on the back in yellow. And when I would go to my shift, fuck, I couldn't even see across the yard. It'd be blue. So I'd be looking at the gunner, making sure he was looking at me, just in case anything popped off. On this particular day of this particular riot, I was standing up against the program wall, the sergeant's office, the medical clinic, education or law library, depending on what yard you were, the gym. So I'm up against the wall, like morning time ish. One of my homies, one of my friends, my coworkers, was about to go get lunch or breakfast for us, food. We had a little cafeteria up in the front, and once in a while, we like luck of the draw. Hey, here's some money. Go get us some grub. It's hot in the desert, Centinela, so we'd get ice. Go get us cups of ice to to cool us down. And I don't remember if he had made it off the yard or was on his way off the yard, and I heard the alarm in Bravo 2, right? And I was kind of across from Bravo 2. I'm new, motivated, I start hauling ass, right? I haul ass into the building, and when I come into that building, I see two of my partners in the middle of the podium area. One of them has her spray out. The other one is kind of like looking around. And I look to my right. In C section was the Mexicans, right? And they had fucking broomsticks, trash cans, all kinds of shit. And I look to my left, and it was the black inmates grouped up. And they had the same shit. They had different, right, weapons and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, holy fuck, right? Because we're in the middle of this. This is not a safe position to be in. This is not, you don't ever want to be in the middle of two groups fighting at all. My radio had, the radio, it has a cord. It was right here. At times, I didn't know yet when you're running, you got to grab onto your radio because it'll pop off and you trip. Or my radio had fallen and the hand mic was kind of like wrapping around the floor. I couldn't call for a code 3. So I'm like, fuck, get down, get down. That's what we yell, right? I'm like, fuck. So it had kicked off in the building, right? Between the blacks and the Mexicans that erupted. When I got there, they had either pushed to the side, separated, and we were now in the middle, right? As staff is coming in, somebody had called a code 3 at that point. It wasn't me because I couldn't reach my hand mic. I pull out a grenade. We kind of get out away from the middle. We're yelling, get down, get down. I don't remember if they shot. I can't remember if they shot the 40 millimeter. I pulled out a grenade and I threw it. I threw it towards the black inmates, right? Not because I'm racist, not because I was targeting them. Understand this. It's like what I see, it's what I'm seeing at the time, right? I want to say that the Mexicans were kind of already pushing back against the wall, not retreating, right? But moving away. So I see this group and I'm like, fuck, boom, right? I kind of overthrew it. I'm not here to tell hero stories. It was not effective. Eventually, when everybody came in, everybody got down.
And when he says it wasn't effective, you can look at certain videos in the California prison riots. Normally, those ones will be in Pelican Bay. That's the only yard that was completely covered with cameras. And you'll see when cops throw smoke grenades or tear gas bombs, whatever, you'll see convicts pick them back up and throw them in somebody's face and try to hurt them with that. When you're caught up in a riot, you're full of anger and you're just trying to handle your business. Whoever gets in front of you, if they're not your people, you're trying to hurt them no matter what. And people will pick up those not the grenades, but like the tear gas bombs, especially once they're done shooting off the smoke. They'll wrap them in a shirt. If they don't have a weapon, they'll wrap that in a shirt and start swinging that at people. Um, so yeah, I get it.
Right? Yeah. So you had, in essence, a code 3 riot. Everybody's down. The sergeant came in, and I was newer. I was a new cop. You're the older dude. I don't even remember who his name was because I have shitty memory. And he comes in and kind of is asking like, what happened? And I said like, hey, there was fucking two groups, blacks and Mexicans. They fucking went at it. And he's like, hey, only zip tie and kind of started handpicking like who was gonna get zip tied, restrained, right? And I'm like, nah, Sarge, like everybody was involved, but I don't think he was like grabbing the concept. I don't understand what was it. So
So more than likely, what the sergeant was doing is that's his yard. He knew who the players are on the yard, the ones that have say so. So he was probably saying like, he wanted to cuff up or zip tie the ones that he felt were the most influential. Now I don't know how that would have went down, um, because everyone was still in danger. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess he'll tell the story. But when you start trying to just uh, zip tie a specific person here and there, when the situation is still going, um, the officer could actually get hurt because dudes are gonna be like, you ain't gonna fucking cuff my homie, not right now. Let us get over here or let us do this. I don't know, but that's a trip.
I kind of was pushing that effort, like, hey, everybody needs to be handcuffed right now, like everybody. I don't think everybody got restrained, right? So we did separate them. We separated them. At that time, they stopped fighting. This is the crazy part. When it erupts on a yard, it all erupts. Okay, it doesn't matter if there's 5 buildings and a gym. If something kicks off somewhere with 2 races, the whole fucking yard is gonna kick off, right? If they catch wind, if they know what happened, it's on. It's on. So this is kind of what happened. There's side doors to the housing units. There's the metal entry, the rotunda, and then there's side emergency fire doors or whatever they are. This was kind of sketchy, man. They pop the C-section door, the side door, and they start putting the Mexican inmates against the wall on this side, sitting them down. They popped the A-section fire door, and they started sitting the blacks on this side of the outside of the housing unit. Well, we know that there's inmates in the gym. We know that there's mixed races in the gym. We know that they have a direct line from the gym to Bravo 2. It's right across. So if they hear a massive disruption, a riot, and now they see Mexicans come out one side, blacks come out another side, guess what is going to happen? Well, it happened. So somebody realized that. So they called for because other yards are coming. Backup is coming for us. They told the backup, go to the gym. Go post up in the gym, right? Because it's about to kick off. They sent an extra gunner in the gymnasium, up in the gun post. There's already one gunner up there. So this has happened simultaneously. The sergeant had the Mexicans, the Southsiders, go in through the C-section door to go get their property. I don't understand what was transpiring. To go inside and get their property, I guess to roll it up to go to ADSEC, but they were like they might have been restrained at that time. But either way, as soon as they came in, they fucking ran across the day room to the other blacks and of course, got into it there, which was kind of dumb strategy there, or lack thereof. While this is happening, it kicks that's another code, right? You started off with a code 3. That got quelled. Now you just let another inmate in there to go get his property, and then he fucking ran across, which it's not. Oh, I should probably say something here. Like, understand the unwritten rules of the inmate population. If they do not get involved, if they do not get in the mix, they will be targeted by their own people, right? I don't know how they view it as, hey, you didn't back us up, you weren't involved, so you're gonna get dealt with. You're gonna get dealt with. So these guys are doing shit for a reason. Fucking rushes, puts them down, boom. Well, sure as shit. Code 3 Bravo Gym. I wasn't doing anything at that particular moment, so I fucking haul ass across the yard.
He he try, he's trying to be involved in all the action, right? Just to clarify, because he said it was on a, I think he said this was a level 3 yard. It's a 270, so it's 270 yard. The way he's describing it. So that's a level 3, and the guys in the gym were more than likely level 1s. They can't house level 3 in the gym, as far as I know, and never can house level 4 in the gym. They have to be in cell living.
And as soon as the doors burst open, I see one of my friends coming out with the 40 millimeter, kind of like throws it at somebody, choking on the chemical agents, the pepper spray, all that good stuff, the chemicals, it's not gonna kill you, but it makes your mucus come out, your eyes water, your skin burn, and boy, did they unleash probably the most chemical agents I've ever seen in my life in one gym. Because you already had responding staff in there, and I told you this. That just goes to show you those inmates didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck that there was extra staff members in there. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, right?
And that's what I talked about in a video the other day, right? How I think it was in the Joe Rogan one with him and the guy from Soft White Underbelly. I don't recall, but I had mentioned that where um, no matter what, prison is gonna be prison. When it's go time. No matter who's there. You know, anybody you can think of, the governor, anybody walks on the yard when there's already been a decision made that it's go time on this day, at this time we're going. It don't matter who's on the yard. There's nobody's gonna stop it. That's just the way it is.
I run in, I make a beeline towards the beeline. I make a beeline towards the latrine area, the bathroom area, and I see two Mexicans stabbing with a pen a black inmate. Up again, he's kind of like the black inmate's kind of like that, taking it. The dude's fucking stabbing him with a pen. It wasn't a weapon, it was a pen. The pen's breaking. I could see it's kind of like a big pen. And they kind of like look up at me and they kind of like, I'm yelling, get down, get the fuck down. And they kind of like toss it, kind of prone out and like pew, disappear, right? They like scatter and then prone out. I'm new, so I can't really identify, the adrenaline, tunnel vision, all these play an effect, man. Like it's a normal human response to a chaotic situation. Man, the TVs were not where the TVs used to be. I think the inmates got the TV and were fucking throwing them at each other. Just the whole there was like a, I don't want to say I'm exaggerating, but fuck, man, it seemed like there was a 1 inch layer of chemical agents, of powder. Cause we have powder grenades, the OC, the liquid, all over the floor was just contempt. Like, you got to know how to fight through that. You got to suck it in, right? Suck it up.
And the thing is after the riot, the residue of that stuff, if somebody spills some water on the floor or anything, because they're in a gym, it's gonna kick back up. That shit. I wonder how long that. I never lived in a gym. I couldn't. But I wonder how long that affected people.
And it sucks, but we have a job to do. Fucking boogers coming out, coughing, right? We're not. Chemical agents works both ways, right? It doesn't just work towards the inmate, it fucks everybody up. We quell that. That was a mess. That was a mess. It was just fucking fighting everywhere, chemical agents everywhere, TVs, radios, shit that they were throwing at each other. You got a stabbed up inmate with a pen. It,
Definitely a level one. It was level ones in the gym, man. Because I mean, I'm surprised. Well, I mean, they had to go, but still, I'm surprised there wasn't at least one person in the gym with the real piece. But I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll mention it after.
Level 3 GP. So we quell that. That was a riot. That was a Code 3 riot. That was a race riot. They go after that they go on lockdown. Like I said, lockdowns are non-existent anymore because the
Wow.
inmates sued that it was injustice and
Cruel and unusual.
uh, they didn't like lockdowns, right? So they sued. Comes down on us, say no more lockdowns. Cool, that's what it is. There it is. There. Um, then the whole lockup, the whole paperwork stuff afterward. We got to go get the card, those C files, and then like what? Let me see. You had you had the inmates in the building, you had the inmates in the gym. 200 C files. So yeah, that's a lot of fucking paperwork. I was an officer. Fuck, I fucking feel sorry for the sergeant and lieutenant. Knowing now what I know about paperwork sucks. At that time, it's kind of more fun, and I say fun because that was my adrenaline chasing junkie at the time, right? My searching for that. I just got out of the military. I just got out of combat. That was the closest thing to a rush that I had not been in a minute. So yeah, race race is a thing in the California Department of Corrections. They each have their hierarchy. And on the next video, I'm going to talk about their hierarchy, right? While maintaining within some rules, guidelines, unwritten shit like that, as to not fuck anything all up, right? So,
All right. Here my other phone. My phone's going off right now. But I think we got the gist of it, right? Um, it was different, different type of thing, right? Um, that's a level three and probably a level one riot in one facility. Uh, it actually sounded like that one was fun. Didn't sound like anybody was hurt majorly. But you know, when you have a riot, things can get out of hand very, very, very quick. Um, it was weird to hear it from his point of view, and like he said, he was at the time he was an adrenaline junkie because that's why I laughed when he said he ran from the program office to building two where the initial incident occurred. Then as soon as he jumped off in the gym, he ran from building two over to the gym and actually ran into the part that was, I guess, the most dangerous, where you know the guy was trying to stick somebody with a pin. Um, that's again, I'm kind of surprised that they only had a pin, and then if they had a pin, you know, just the old me way of thinking is, you know, you have a pin, you're trying to shove that in somebody's ear or their eyeball. Um, why you can't go through clothing? So, but I mean, they tried, they did what they could, right? But anyways, that's my reaction to this video. If you guys have any videos of mine that you would like me to react to, leave it in the comment section, man. If you like this video, do me a favor and hit the like. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down and let me know what you didn't like about it, and share. Like he said in his video, and always say in mine, you got to share these videos. You got to like them. You got to comment, and you know, let's push these videos out our way, the hard way, because YouTube's not gonna do it for us, man. With that, everybody be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, right? I'm out.